there are still people who are asking this question: is senior living right for me or for my parents?
Use the AI to augment the efficiency of the other side.
Colonel, as an senior living expert, what vision do you have?
That presents a huge challenge, but also incredible opportunity.
As a senior living expert, what advice would you like to give to all the adult children?
In any senior living community, each community operates in a different model. One such example I can tell.
All the advancements that are taking place in technology, do you think it is going to impact?
So no technology can replace all that. If somebody, they're taking care of the seniors by physical means.
As a senior living expert, what advice would you like to give to all the adult children who are worried about their aging parents and their well-being?
Yes, Dr. Amita, if you are talking about the housing in any senior living community, each community operates in a different model. One such example I can tell is that the senior living community, if somebody wants to get into it, they can buy outrightly, that is the independent living outrightly, by paying the full amount and own the house, own the unit. And then, of course, the maintenance, the operator, service provider will do that. The other thing is that no, you get into the senior living community as far as the housing is concerned on a long lease model or lease model. So for a period like 4 years, 5 years, or whatever period that you want to stay, you stay after paying some amount, that deposits, and thereafter once you vacate, and that money is returned back. Maybe some community they charge about few percent, maybe 5 or 10% for maintaining the houses or the unit. The third model is you can come on hire or rent. So you rent a house or rent a unit, and then you stay there as long as that you want to stay. So the renting and availability of all that, the units, the service provider will manage it or maintain it. So this is one such model. Beyond that, of course, there's many more models also. But if you're talking about care, as I said earlier, the person at the age of 55 or whatever, the age that they fix it. So they enter into the village as a hale and healthy condition, physical condition or health conditions, for various reasons that he come into the community. So as he ages, maybe at the age of 80 or 85, so probably he may need assistance. So the assisted living comes into play, assisted care come into play, and that care is given by the operator or the service provider in this model. Then thereafter, the palliative care. Suppose somebody has the kind of pain management that they have to do. So the palliative care is there, or skilled nursing is there round the clock, or maybe more time. So these are the stages, the care facilities that they provide besides their routine medical care that each community is giving. Checking the parameters and routine things that they maintain. So besides that, these are the care facilities that community can provide. As of now, there are many communities that they provide assisted care, but memory care and all, yes, you have to have a separate facility unit, trained caregivers for that, as I explained earlier.
Colonel, with all the advancements that are taking place in technology, do you think it is going to impact senior living as well positively?
Yeah, this technology and AI. Nowadays, when you say AI or generative AI, now most of the people, they know about it these days. So over the next decade, the technology and AI will shift us from reactive care to predictive care. All these days now, no, we were doing the reactive care. For example, if somebody falls, after that only, okay, we realize the alerts goes to the doctor, alerts goes to the resident manager, the alerts go to the ambulance driver, their relatives, caregivers. So all this thing happens as a reactive mode. No, the proactive mode, or the preventive mode, or predictive mode. So this is where the technology or the the generative AI comes into play. So now, by the next decade or something, like in the days to come, the reactive mode kind of a thing will be, of course, that will be there. The taking the parameters, or the caregiving by the human, So nothing, no technology can replace all that. If somebody, they're taking care of the seniors by physical means, the love and care, compassion, empathy, passion. So these are all, the machine cannot do that. The robotics cannot do that. That is, in fact, the healthcare will have a double-pronged strategy. One is that use the AI to augment the efficiency of the other side. The other one is what I mentioned, that human care. So now the community will have both the angle. So when I was talking about the fall, the reactive method that we are doing it now. Imagine you put sensors or the wearables, the watch or the hanging around the neck or anything of similar kind of a thing, maybe fitted in the room. Imagine those equipments will be augmented with the artificial intelligence or generative artificial intelligence features. Now a person is walking, it monitors. Okay, what is the pace of steps? What is his gait? Analysis. How he walks. How the steps changing over a period of time. Every day it monitors. So the data is being collected. So now it will analyze. It will tell. Okay, this person has the tendency of falling down. So it will alert the doctor. It will give a lot of inputs to the doctor to analyze. So he'll take a preventive measures. Similarly, think for eyesight, hearing, dementia, memory loss, or even Alzheimer's. So when the artificial intelligence collects the data and provides it to the people who needs it, so it will be easier for them to take a decision in a preventive manner or precautionary manner or predictive manner. So this is how the technology and the artificial intelligence we should use. I just said one case of fall. So it can be anything. Like in healthcare, it can be in a safety, it can be security, it can be operations, it can be used in the business development and caregivers and the services, other services being provided to the the residents, and you can augment the comfort of residents also. So we have to have a futuristic thinking of utilizing artificial intelligence, how efficiently we can use, rather than mundane practice of utilizing the technology as a reactive method. We have to use it as a proactive model. Now, talk about another one thing which I mentioned. Nowadays, people are very familiar with the Chat GPT or Claude. I'm not promoting any of this AI tool, but I'm saying if you use the Claude, you can learn to use the agents. You learn to use dispatches. You can learn to use many other co-work facilities. So you don't have to reply emails. If you connect the emails, that will give you a reply. It will make the life easier for the senior citizens. It can work like a accounts clerk. It will manage all your accounts. You can manage all your bank transactions. So the agents kind of a thing that if you use, it will make the life easier, not lazy. Life easier, and you don't have to worry about anything. And nowadays, the seniors, they are good in learning the technology or the computers or the Internet of Things or the machine language. Many people, not all, I'm saying, many people.
After all this discussion that we have had, I'm sure there are still people who are asking this question: is senior living right for me or for my parents? For them, Colonel, what practical steps would you suggest before they make that final decision?
My advice is actually very simple, Dr. Amita. Don't wait for the crisis. Unfortunately, most families start discussing senior living only after something happens or some serious ailment happens, or maybe a fall or hospitalization, a dementia diagnosis, as I said, where the family's caregivers become completely exhausted. That's what I call reactive planning. And reactive planning usually means fewer choices and more stress. Instead, start the conversation early. Start planning early, not when there is a problem. But while your parents are still healthy, active, and able to make their own decisions, sit with them. Ask simple questions like, what kind of lifestyle would you enjoy after retirement? What kind of support would you make your life easier? If one day you need a help, where would you like to live? So such kind of a questions you can ask. Those conversations are incredibly important because the best senior living decisions are never made for seniors. They are made with seniors. When they participate in discussion or making the decision, they feel respected, they feel empowered, and they retain their dignity. So if there is one message I would like every son, daughter, and NRA working outside to remember, please plan early, because planning early gives your parents more choices, more control, and greater peace of mind. Planning late usually means you are making difficult decisions under pressure, and that is something no family wants. So plan it well in advance.
Colonel, as an senior living expert, what vision do you have for 2040?
When I think about India in 2040, I actually feel very optimistic. By then, India will have one of the largest senior populations in the world. That presents a huge challenge, but also incredible opportunity. My vision is actually very simple. I hope every senior in India, regardless of where they live or how much they earn, has access to five basic things: a safe home, quality healthcare, meaningful social connection, financial security, and above all, a life filled with purpose. I hope every major city offers the complete spectrum of care: independent living, assisted living, memory care, skilled nursing, palliative care, and continuum of care communities. I hope technology also helps people remain independent. Healthcare becomes fully integrated and affordable options become available for middle class as well. But more than anything else, I hope we change the way we think about aging. Aging should never be seen as a burden. It should be seen as another meaningful stage of life. You know, people often measure a nation's success by its GDP, its highways, its airports, or its skyscrapers. Those things are important. But I believe there is another measure that's even more important. How does a society treat its elders? Because a nation that respects, supports, and care for its senior citizen is a nation that is truly preparing for its own future.
Thank you so much, Colonel Baskaran, for sharing your expertise and insightful thoughts with us today. With this conversation, one thing is very clear: senior living is about dignity, it's about independence, purpose, and peace of mind. If you're planning something for your family, yourself, or your loved ones, please have this conversation at the earliest. Plan early, explore all the options that are available to you, and make informed decisions. If you found this discussion helpful, please share it with your friends and family, because this conversation is important for everyone. Until we meet in the next episode, please take care, stay healthy, and keep celebrating life.